So yeah, it's good to see you. I mean, you say same old, 10th fight camp and all the rest of it. And obviously so much experience as an amateur. It's nothing new, right, at this point?
Yeah, it's just a fight, yeah, you know what? Obviously, there's pressure in winning. In my home city, I'm fighting against a good fighter. I'm expected to win. For people that don't really know who I'm fighting, that's maybe a problem sometimes at our weights. They don't really know who the fighter is. They're really good fighters, so you're expected to win almost. When it's not always the case, you find a really good fighter and it could go either way. And that's I'm expecting a tough fight Saturdays, but I love my job, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. I've spoken to quite a few guys about this lately, Galal, talking about specifically about Tank and Lamont Roach. People in the trade say Lamont Roach can fight. And then because people haven't
Yeah.
heard of him and because he hasn't got a million followers on Instagram, people are thinking that he's not all that. But some guys, sometimes
Yeah.
you have to know about these guys for them to be able to fight.
Yeah, that's the issue with boxing nowadays. Sometimes you're better off taking the fight where people know the fighter who you're fighting, but he's not as good. Um, it's really bad when you fight someone who's not known at all and who's really good, and you're getting less money. So it's just everything that you don't go with. But sometimes you have to fight them fights, and this is a fight that's been ordered. So yeah, I'm looking forward to stepping in the ring with a good fighter and hopefully getting a win.
How would you assess your career to date and how it's gone? Happy?
Um, yeah, I'm happy enough. You always want to do more and things like that, but can't get too ahead of myself. Like I've had 9 fights. I beat the best fighter at flyweight. It was Sonny. That's not just my opinion. He was number one in every magazine, so that's their opinion. And then I've got the WBC number one ranked fighter. He fought plenty of good fighters. He's been in the game longer than I've been boxing, but he's my age, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm doing it the hard way, and yeah, there's no other way I'd probably want to do it.
How did it feel doing what you did to Sonny at the end of last year?
Yeah, it felt great. A lot of people doubted me, and they thought, oh, he's too good for Galal, but we always knew I was a better fighter. Whatever people say, where they say he wasn't the best, he wasn't the Sonny of old. Bam's done this to him, and all these kind of things. He seemed all right when he fought 6 months before I fought him against Curiel. Played with him really in Phoenix. I think I was in Phoenix. But yeah, it is what it is. I'd sparred him for a couple of years before Sonny a few times, before my pro debut, and he was world champion at the time. And I knew back then I'd beat him. Um, but no disrespect to Sonny, he's a good fighter, but I'm just better.
So people, like you said, it's one of those wise after the events one, isn't it? As Bunty would say, after timers, because going into it, people had it pegged as like a 50-50 domestic super fight.
Yeah, yeah, and it was on paper. Probably people were siding with him more, maybe leaning towards him winning, because he's a former world champion. He'd fought the top fighters in the world. Well, he'd fought Bam Rodriguez, and he got stopped, but he put an okay account of himself. And then people just thought, oh, was Galal done that to him? He was allowed 8 fights. But it is what it is. I don't think people could come to terms with how easy I beat him. So that was almost, oh wait, he's not the same. Um, but Sonny's a good fighter, but I do think he was made out to be better than what he was, and that's no disrespect as well because I still see him around and we're cool. But I do think people did think he was better than what he actually was.
Obviously you've had a really interesting journey over, I mean, over years, but let's say the last 10 years. When you were working at that factory at Land Rover, did you think you would get to this, like main eventing at home? Did you always believe in this, or did you think that the factory life was going to be, as good as it got?
Nah, I didn't believe it. I'll be lying if I sat here and said, yeah, I always knew I was going to get here. I was always in the just in the corner watching my brothers do it, watch Cal fight all over the world, and I'd go and watch him fight at the Birmingham Arena and defend his world title. And I wasn't in the limelight. I was just in the corner, and I got onto the GB team, and then you know went to the Olympics in Rio, lost out there. Had 4 or 5 years on top of that. GB at Sheffield. Went to Tokyo, and yeah, the rest was history. And yeah, back to your question, did I ever think this would happen? Probably not, but who does? What sportsman and sportswoman do think that they're going to be in these big fights and have these big accolades?
Staying amateur from Rio to Tokyo was a hell of a roll of the dice, isn't it? I mean, because
Yeah,
the odds, obviously, we saw what happened with Michael Conlan, and people have thought, oh, we'll hang on another 4 years and we'll do better next time, and they've done worse. Like,
yeah,
it's and with amateur politics, not everything's going to go your way.
yeah.
It was a ballsy decision, wasn't it? And is it one that you think paid off because of the gold, or do you think it's maybe taken away some time from your life as a pro?
You know what, Trish? I never really overthink things. I don't think, okay, I'm not really, I do, I'm quite calculated in some decisions, but in boxing, I was so early on then, I didn't even think, oh, I can wait 4 years and then I'm going to win gold and then I can do that, or I can go pro now, get the knowledge. I just thought, you know what? I've just got into the team. I've been working for the past 3, 4 years. I'm on a Great Britain team now. I'm getting paid for it. Yeah, not the riches, but I'm traveling the world. I'm getting better, boxing for my country. I'll just I'll just give this a go and carry on with it. Weren't really like calculated like I'm gonna wait out 4 years, go to Olympics, go pro after with a gold medal. I never even got that far. I just took it year by year, and thank God it just worked out for me. And yeah, I had to put the work in, obviously, but yeah, thank God it worked.
And it was an even bigger gamble given what happened with COVID and stuff, and another year
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. Just, I mean, it's for me, it's crazy bravery what you did, but fair play. Um, by the way, obviously you mentioned about your bro being a world champ. You're the interim WBC champ. Do you see yourself as a world champ now? Taraji's got the full championship. Do you see yourself as a world champ?
No, of course not. Definitely not. I haven't said once I'm a world champion. How can I be world champion if someone else is there? I don't get how that works. It's like, it's not me. I'm Olympic gold medalist. There's only one Olympic gold medalist at my weight. There can't be two Olympic gold medalists or an interim gold medalist. That's just nice to have in the house. You know what? I haven't even picked it up and looked at it properly. Um, it's nice to keep and maybe show a few people in the future. But if I don't win a world title, then I'm gonna just look stupid handing them that. And they're gonna say it says world champion on there, but they're gonna say, "Were you world champion?" And I'm gonna have to tell them, "No, I'm not." Oh, no, I wasn't world champion. So it's kind of wishful thinking. It looks great, but reality, I'm not world champion.
This is why I like you and your bros so much. You're just a old school, honest dude who know the sport inside.
Yeah, you know what, Trish? Sometimes I'm too honest. I'm too honest, man. Sometimes. You probably don't help me, but it's all right. I live all right life, and I'll be dead in 50 years, so it don't matter.
Hey, on a slightly more positive note, how much do you want Taraji, by the way, given that he's the full champ? Is that the hopeful next step?
You know what? I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, yeah, I'm dying to fight him. I don't care who I fight.
Mm.
It's who's got the belt, who's the who. It's just who's got the belt, and Kenshiro's got the belt, so I have to fight him for that belt. It could be, I don't know. I could have thought Sonny could have had the belt, and I would have wanted to fight him for the belt. So it's never personal, and I want to fight this guy. It's more what he's got, and he's got the belt. So if Joe Bloggs had the belt, I'd want to fight Joe Bloggs.
I
But
suppose
Kenshiro's got the belt, so
the things with Kenshiro is he's in some pound for pound rankings as well, so there's that element as well. Like that sets him
yeah,
apart from the other dudes, right?
yeah, he's a good fighter. He's not unstoppable, is he? I've watched a few of his fights. He's not unstoppable, and he's just a force to be reckoned with. He's a good fighter, but am I good enough to beat him? Of course, I am. I'm not like deluded. But could I lose? Yeah, I could lose as well. It's just a really good fight, and people will go with him because he's got the experience and he's been around a long time. But I've had 9 fights. It's crazy even been putting in conversations. But yeah, he's got the belt, so. This is just a step on Saturday, Rodriguez. But what a run it would be, Sonny, Rodriguez, and then Kenshiro for the world title. I've not had it easy, where former Olympic champions might have had it a little bit more easier, but I ain't.
Well, I suppose going back to the thing is that time's not been on your side, right? You've got to do
Yeah,
that sort of fast track thing, haven't you? Um,
yeah.
by the way, how are the lads? Are they doing all right? And are they sparring you? Are they doing anything to help you?
Nah, I'll beat them up now. They won't be able, they couldn't hang. They couldn't hang with me now. To be fair, Cal hit me with his left hook. Now he weighs about 70 odd kilos, so he'd probably kill me. But nah, they're just at the gym. They run the gym now. We took over our old gym, Birmingham City Boxing Club. So yeah, they're doing bits there.
Okay, and tell me about your relationship with Rob McCracken and what makes him so good, because you're one of the privileged few that's got to work with Rob all the way through.
Yeah, Rob's anyone that's met Rob, he's a straight up guy. He's not out there. He's hidden. He's always doing his thing. He's with GB, so um, he's never really out there, which I quite like as well.
Mm.
He's not in it for the limelight. He's trained numerous fighters. Some of the best fighters in Britain, AJ and Cole Frotch, and these kind of fighters. Yeah, he's just a good person, and I trust him. And yeah, he's very knowledgeable as well.
I bet he doesn't let. I remember watching him with Frotch and Lee Meager back in the day. I'm not sure if I've ever spoken to you about this, but I remember him watching those guys shadow box. He's just on them all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
he is.
you think like if you shadow box, you're just loosening up and that, but he's on you, like instructing you all the time, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't wait to not have to shadow box again for a few weeks. He makes me do 12 rounds, 10 rounds, and he's like, oh, Don Curry used to shadow box for 10 rounds. He come to my gym years ago and he shadow boxed for 10, 12 rounds. If them fighters can do it, you can do it. And, he's always giving me knowledge. And yeah, he's just a good guy.
So people are saying there's room at the top of the UK for a new big star, and if they're not, I sort of am. You've got Conor Benn, who's quite divisive. You've got Chris Eubank, who's getting up there in age. Tyson Fury, is he gone? Is he not? Joshua, maybe a couple more. Like there seems to be vacancy at the top for a superstar in this country in the next year or two. Can that be you?
Nah, I don't think so. I think boxing wise, yeah, I'm good enough to be. But star attraction, them kind of things, no chance. It's just my weight. I'm a flyweight. That's the way it goes, and I've just got to sit in my lane and do what I do. But I didn't even get into boxing for that. Them guys they're all bigger weights, bigger names. Their dads have been superstars. Where I'm just a 5'4", 50 kilo boxer. Yeah, I won gold at the Olympics, but I'm not gonna to the masses. I'm not gonna stand out, which is fine. I get it. And I'm not bitter about that at all. I do well in life. When I'm older, I can tell my kids that I was Olympic champion. I was world champion. Hopefully, I even got to meet the Queen, which where I'm from, people don't get to do that and get honoured by the Queen. So I've suppressed every aspiration I've had, and for me to even be talking about me being Olympic champion and things is unbelievable. So, will I be at the top of a superstar in Britain? Probably not, but technically and boxing wise, yeah, I could be one of the best ones. Yeah, not being big headed, but I think boxing wise, yeah.
Is it is it because you're like introverted in nature? Like, because obviously it's a simple comparison from a lower weight class is Naz, right? Obviously, look at
Yeah,
what he did and how he was. Is that just not you and you don't want to be something that you're not? Is that the case?
yeah, 1,000,000%. I got integrity, and I try and always keep my integrity. And I say that sometimes. I'm just being myself. I'm not going to try and be someone else. So few more people know who I am. I got respect for myself, so and I don't have to act that way. I don't have to act out of character. So again, a few more people know who I am. My boxing will do the talking, and I know it's different nowadays, and you need to have a big mouth, and you need to sell yourself and act out of character. But I'd rather not.
Does Eddie say to you, go on, Cal, smack
Yeah.
go and smack him with a chair?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, probably they probably don't like it, but it is what it is. You see a few fighters that are similar to me. You see the Bam Rodriguez's and these kind of fighters. Your Roman Gonzalez's. They don't shout too much, but they get a bit more people behind them because I don't know, they maybe pushed a little bit more. But my time will come, and hopefully it will come soon.
Sure. So tell me about Francisco Rodriguez, who you got this weekend. I've done a little bit of homework on him. There's not loads to go on, right? From what I can see, but you can see sort of what he brings to the table, right?
Yeah, he's a really good fighter. He's fought the likes of Nakatani and Ayoka up at Superfly, and he even fought Roman Gonzalez in 2013.
Mm.
And I barely just started boxing then. So it's crazy to think that I'm getting in the ring with these guys, and he's the former world champion. But he's fighting me in my home city. He's coming down to my weight when I'm in my peak. So I'm hoping it goes the way I think it is. But you never know in this game. And he's Mexican. He's tough. He's going to come forward. He's stubborn. He's not going to give in. And yeah, he should make for a good fight.
You said obviously you want the guys with the titles. Cal obviously fought Roman Gonzalez, right? So he left knowing that he fought the best. Is
Yeah,
it something that you want? Because in this sport, whoever's got the belt isn't necessarily the best. Like, do you want to
yeah.
like, let's say Taraji, let's say move up, fight Bam Rodriguez? Do you want that? What do you want that sort of iconic fight, or are you happy to collect belts and move around doing that?
Nah, yeah, I want them iconic fights as well. First and foremost, I want to be world champion. But yeah, I do want them big fights. But Kenshiro seems to be the best in the division, so he would fit in that bracket. And the Bam Rodriguez is brilliant fighters. I want to fight them fighters too. I want to finish my career where I look back and go, yeah, I fought him, I fought him. I always look back at like your Michael Carabajals who were wicked fighters back in the day, and they fought everyone and they had wars, and everyone knows who they are now from them big fights. And I kind of want that as well. And at these low weights, if you're a top fighter, you fight the top Mexicans and the top Japanese fighters, and that's what I'm gonna have to do. I've had to fight Sonny Edwards, who was the best in Britain, or the best in the world. Sorry, I've had to fight Rodriguez, one of the best Mexicans at the low weights, and then I'll probably have to fight Kenshiro, who's the best Jap. So if you want to be a top fighter, you have to do that, and there's not many Brits doing that.
No, sure. And we mentioned Bam. Is that so? Have you and Eddie talked about that? Have you been like, yeah, can I get that one down the line?
Nah, not really. We haven't really talked about it. You know, I just look at it like I'm not even world champion yet. He's a weight above me. He's a two-weight world champion. He's probably looking at bigger fish to fry. He's looking at, they were talking about Nakatani and Inoue. Little old Galal Yafai, they're not going to give a shit about me. I ain't even won a world title yet. So when they're talking about Inoue and Nakatani, then I'm not got a sniff, which is fine. I'll stay in my own lane for now. But hopefully I can become world champion, and I'll be more than happy to go up away and fight Bam Rodriguez. Because let me just say, I've watched him up close to fight when he fought Sonny, and it's a good comparison. Like people say, oh, you get smashed by Bam Rodriguez and whatnot, but I watched him beat Sonny for 9 rounds up close. And I've been in the ring with Sonny, so I kind of know how good he is with a comparison with who we both fought. And after 5 rounds, when he fought Sonny, it was a good little fight. It was 3-2 either way. When I thought Sonny was easy, and people will say, "Yeah, it's because Bam softened him," but we'll see if we ever fight.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Mate, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me and just it's good to see you so chilled out. And I apologize for asking about those future fights, but we all want to see you
Nah.
a bit like, we I think a lot of people in boxing know you're like you potentially like a Ferrari, and we want to see you get up to fourth, fifth gear, you know?
Hopefully I can, yeah, hopefully I can fight them fighters and prove people wrong because they always doubt me, man. They always doubting me. But I like it though. I like it.
Yeah, well, I think your accolades and all that sort of tell a different story. But onwards and upwards, and all the best for Saturday. And hopefully we'll catch up after the event. And yeah, thanks for taking the time. Always appreciate it. And say hi to the bros for me.
Oh, I will. Anytime future, it's all right, mate.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. Take care.